I personally demand an investigation be done. I demand an investigation on the bank account. I want to be checking for wire transfers from the Oklahoma City Thunder to Mr. Scott Foster. Anybody who was following this channel years ago, you guys know I did a video before I took a hiatus from YouTube about the Rockets, Scott Foster, and all his funny business, the funny money that he does. He's an NBA referee. I strongly believe. Now, I have no dog in the fight. Okay, I don't support either one of these teams. The team I grew up supporting, very successful team. They're not even in the playoffs. Okay, but these two teams right here, I'm telling you right now, there was some funny money going on, especially in the third and fourth quarter, with trying to keep OKC in the game. I would not be surprised if Secaucus, New Jersey was called by, what's his name, Mr. Adam Silver. He made a couple calls to Secaucus, said, look, here's the deal. We got deals for this many games. We need to go this many games. Also, they put a lot of money. The Oklahoma City Thunder, they're kind of what the league wants to see right now. They're a young trio. They're kind of what we didn't get to see with the young Oklahoma City Thunder of 10 years ago. What could this version look like? Now, don't get it twisted. I like this little team here. They look cool, but I want the best team to win, period, point blank. The Indiana Pacers, tonight, they looked like the best team for at least 3 quarters of play. Now, I did notice that they started to get kind of figured out a little bit. The Thunder were driving the ball a lot. They kind of figured, okay, anytime you can get Tyrese Halliburton, you attack him. Anytime you can get some off-ball movement with Shea to try and throw him off with Nembhard. Because Nembhard, he's playing hard defense on Shea, but he's not going to be able to keep that up and keep his offense going. I noticed that once you saw Nembhard's offense pick up, he was not able to actually stick on Shea like that white on rice treatment he gave him during Game 3, where basically Game 3, that man, when it came to off-ball movement, Nembhard had Shea in a seatbelt, okay? He gave that boy that seatbelt, that cornerback on wide receiver press coverage, the entire floor. All right, it was hell for that man all night. Now on ball, he's not going to be able to stop him. It's just a matter of making his life hell. But off ball, boy, he put that man in the seatbelt last game. This game, not as much because he was getting the ball rolling a little more offensively. Also, shout out to Nembhard for picking up his shot. He found his shot last series against the Knicks. It was not there this series. Like I said last game, no question about it. He's hot now. Pascal Siakam played very well this game. They kind of made a mention of it with the commentary. I mean, I've been watching more with the commentary now just to kind of be tapped in to what these broadcasters are saying. I mean, I didn't really like their mix in comparison to the old broadcast. But let me give them a shot. And I'm listening to them, and I'm like, yo, why is no one talking about Pascal Siakam's defensive presence? He's tipping everything. His hand is on every ball that's coming in. The man is making a lot of fast break opportunities because of his active hands on defense. Now, Miles Turner, we got to talk. I'm going to have to give you the same talk I gave Kat in terms of my last video. Now, I'm a nobody to these guys. They don't even know I exist. But anybody who's watching who has a decent idea of how basketball is played can see that Miles Turner is too talented, too strong, and has too much of a mismatch size-wise against Chet and against some of these guys that he gets on these pick and rolls to be taking step back, long twos. He made like one of them, and all these threes. The man has made so many threes. The last three I can remember him making was like Game 1 when he made that bank three, that Hail Mary, praise God that it went in three. All right, that ain't happening every game. Now, Rick Carlisle, I still think he's the sharper coach in regards to his in-game adjustments. I think this game, Daigneault got the better of him specifically because he didn't win the game. So I can't say you got the better of somebody if you didn't win. But I definitely think, no disrespect to Daigneault, the Oklahoma City Thunder, I don't know who wired the money. It must have gone through like 3 different filters. I want somebody investigating Scott Foster's Swiss accounts, any sort of accounts he's got in his kid's name, his wife's name, brother, sister's name. Somebody got a nice lump sum payment, or they got a nice little trickle amount that's coming in slowly over time, because that game at the end, it looked very funny money with the calls. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, I think he had like 8 or 9 free throws for the game, but I think almost all of them came in the second half. It was very clear they were trying to close that gap, and they were doing some of that movie magic, trying to make the finals go a little bit longer. If the Pacers come out and play like they played the last 2 games, they have a really good shot to close this series out in the next 2 games. However, I do think that did take some energy out of them. The way Nembhard's been playing Shea, I don't think he's going to be able to do that for, let's say they go 7 games. I don't think he's going to be able to do that for the full 7-game series. If the Oklahoma City Thunder can capitalize like they did tonight and get a favorable whistle the way they got tonight, Lord have mercy. I don't see how the Pacers are going to overcome that. Now, we got to talk about these people on commentary not riding Halliburton. I have said it videos ago, all right, that Halliburton is a great player. Y'all saw my video. I said, what the hell? That boy is nice. He's obviously nice with the rock. Doesn't turn the ball over that much, at least in other series. This series more so because they're a lot more handsy. The Thunder, they get away with a lot more, defensive getaways. How do I say this? They're almost hand-checking people every time down the court, and they're just not getting called for it. And it's not that I think it's illegal. It's just the fact that it is illegal at this time. Over the days you could do that. They've been letting the whole playoffs, every team in the playoffs get away with that stuff. So that's why people can't really cry about it, because, I mean, their team is getting away with it too. But, the Thunder are definitely getting away with a lot of handsy business there on defense. Now, we got to talk about Jalen Williams. I want him to go shoot around with Lou Dort. Because he's very short on his shot. His driving has been impeccable the last 2 games, or I shouldn't say impeccable, much better. This game, it was very good. He had like 2 or 3 turnovers where I didn't like it. So I'm not going to say he's got to get on the jugs machine. He was loose with it, but he was much better than the games before. The games before was atrocious. It was like 2022 Jaylen Brown, bad with the left hand. Jaylen Brown cleaned it up, so I'm not going to talk about that no more. But this dude, J-Dub, much better with the rock this game, especially around the cup. His mid-range, though, around the top of the key, he keeps coming up short like it's touching the front of the rim. I'm like, his legs, I mean, he's got to stop taking these hard-ass fouls or these hard falls. The man jumped up today. I said, yo, somebody better go check that man's sacrum. They better go check his L5, L4 or something, because, Lord, that man fell at least 5-6 feet in the air, straight down, full body weight. What is that? That dude's probably like $190, 200, somewhere around there, maybe 210. Straight down on his freaking low back, sacrum, pelvis area. I'm like, man, yeah, he popped back up. A lot of that's probably adrenaline. He's a young guy trying to prove something. Earlier in the game, he fell. He pushed himself up. I give him some credit. He wasn't like some players out here laying around 10 minutes when they got a hangnail. So I give him some credit, but definitely don't be surprised if you see something on the injury report about him having like a bruise or a muscle contusion. Definitely look out for that. With Chet Holmgren, I liked how Chet looked in the second half. First half, he didn't look that great. He was settling for too many jump shots, all that. Second half, he was looking more for the putbacks, getting active on the boards. I can respect that. With the Pacers, Tyrese Halliburton, when he is aggressive, and I say aggressive meaning like within the flow of the offense and running it, the Pacers are very hard to stop because he's not like, I don't want to say Jokic like a bad way, because Jokic plays a very high level of basketball. But I noticed that the Nuggets, they run a lot of ball movement through Jokic, and the ball will stick with him for a few seconds in the shot clock longer than it would with Halliburton. Halliburton, the ball moves very quickly. He very seldomly handles the ball for more than like 5 to 7 seconds in the shot clock. He usually gets the ball out pretty quick. Pascal Siakam and him, I think they got to run a little bit more two-man game when the game starts getting out of hand. I understand that they run a no ID offense. They don't care who is hot. They just bring it to that person. Obi Toppin was off. He went off tonight. They ended up not taking advantage of that game. TJ McConnell did not have a crazy game, and I'm not saying it like he choked or anything. I'm just saying last game he did, this game he didn't. The Pacers did not win. Same with Benedict Mathurin. He went crazy last game. He did not go crazy this game. I mean, those are some very key players. This Pacers team is starting to look kind of like that old Golden State Warriors team, that 2015 strength in numbers type deal. Very well-rounded group. But my whole thing with the Pacers is a moment like this, they really should have put the Thunder away. They should have figured out that all these little ticky-tack calls are happening, and they just shut it down. I'm just thinking about some of the greats that we've seen play that we've been kind of spoiled with, Shaq, Kobe, Tim Duncan, all these kind of guys. I'm just thinking about how they would have handled that. They don't have perfect playoff records, but I'm just thinking about how they would have handled it, like this type of series with things like that going on. I'm like, we do we do have to hold these guys accountable at some point. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander did not look good this game until the last like 2 quarters where he was getting a lot of help. I say that because, yeah, he's hitting tough shots, but he wasn't distributing the ball the way I think he should. I think the point guard position has become a little bit too scoring heavy. And I understand that's kind of his role, but he's not distributing the ball as well as I think he could. I think he could move off the ball a little bit better. There were a few times he tried to move off the ball. He could not get off Nembhard quick off the ball. There were a few times where he tried to do a backdoor cut. Nembhard was right there with him. The ball got stolen because he's just not able to really create that separation. A guy like Shai, his separation comes from when he has the ball. You have to respect his jumper because it's so lethal. So because of that, he can get the first step on you. His first step is not naturally lethal. He doesn't have a first step like, even not a Paul George. Who am I thinking of? Like, we can use Kobe, for example. Kobe was not lightning quick like Dwayne Wade, but Kobe actually had a very quick first step. Same with T-Mac. T-Mac had a very quick first step. They had a jumper, which made it more lethal, but they were able to get by you. Even if they were cold, they could still get by you. I noticed that Shai, he cannot get by Nembhard naturally. Nembhard is beating him to the spot every single time. I'm not saying like a slight. Nembhard's noticeably smaller than him, so he really should be able to beat him to the spot. But I'm just saying, for an elite level guard, he's getting beaten to that spot each time. He just happens to make very tough jumpers, which you got to give him credit for. But I tell you what, I really want to see what the hell is going to happen if this series, or not if, after this game, because I know the NBA presets all the refs for games 1 through 4, and then 5 through 7, they usually will handpick the refs. I'm curious to see if they have Mr. Scott Foster come back out. That seems to be like their little closer when they need a game to stay close or when they need a series to go forward a certain way. That seems to be their money man. Go check him out. He was involved with Tim Donahue quite a few years back. I mean, just about almost everybody should know his name by now. Very interesting how this game went, to say the least. I look forward to seeing what the hell is going to happen game 5 over in OKC. We'll see if OKC can do what they did against the Nuggets and go up 3-2 after being down 2-1. So, as usual, don't be mad at yourself.